Okay, so as you can see, I've already planned out how it's supposed to look like, where the ship is going to be, the break of the waves, the back part of the waves, of course, and then of course how the sea is moving, put it in this direction. Before we begin with that, I am going to pull out this board right here, because I'm going to make a little bit of a base. I'm going to use this foam board that I purchased from Hobby Japan, 3mm foam board, as kind of like a stand or a base for this, because I can't just leave it loose like this. I could easily gone and purchased a wooden board, which I think I do have. I put it to the side. Let me see if I can find it first so I can show it to you. Yeah, I have one which was actually meant for another idea of a diorama build, but unfortunately it is too wide, so I can't use this. Let me just remove this from its packaging. I got this a year ago, maybe two, I don't remember, when Hobby Japan had their summer sale, spring sale, whatever sale it was. It was at a relatively good price. I could now use this for this. Actually, hold on. So it's not the entire board. We're talking about one thick board here, but I want to use this as a base for this. It's actually the perfect size, so I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to use it to put up styrene sheets on the side. So let me grab that. Actually, before I do that freehand, let me use something else to mark it. Where is my marker? I just had it here a minute ago. Could probably use the pencil. Did it mark? It marked a bit, but I'm actually going to cut it a millimeter or so to the side. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this one out to help me out with the guide. Okay. A little off to the, a little bit left over is fine, because I could sand it down and clean it up a bit. But I just wanted to get that done so I can do this. I'm gonna take out some glue, Gorilla Glue, or any Elmo's glue would work. Let's get this done. It's a strong glue here, so. I'm going to be giving credit to the person who I've been watching videos on how to do this, and that is a guy named Scaleton. did his. He does a lot of diorama ship builds. His first one that I saw was the one with the submarine, with the U-boat submarine, and then he just recently, not recently, but I think it was last year, he did one with the a Fletcher class destroyer submarine, Fletcher class destroyer diorama, which was very nice. He did first he put a lot of photo etch parts on a 1/700 scale Fletcher class type ship, and then once he finished painting it, then he just did the diorama, and I was using that as a point of reference. I think that should be fine, and I'm going to be needing this soon. Just so it's stuck there, and then I don't have to worry about it coming off. Alright. We'll let that set, and then we'll get back to it later on. Okay. Using aluminum foil and a little bit of ingenuity, I'm going to start making some of the waves that I'm going to do right now. Flesh out the idea. On it. I'm using a little bit of glue that I've already put to the side here. Put them there to hold them in. Now, obviously, my technique is quite different from every other person's technique. If everybody has a different way of doing this, that's understandable. Some people will have a different method of doing something like this, but it all depends on how you do it and if it works or not. I know there are people who like to use putty, and I have putty, so this will work on that, on this type of idea. I kind of like this one, this idea. I'm more favoriting this. So, just right now, cutting some strips. Eyeballing it, the idea. Put more glue in a few moments. Just want to keep it in control. I want to try to control the amount of glue I put on. So let me just do this. I'll just do this a bit. Come on. I might as well do this. It'll be a lot easier. And then I just want to flesh out the idea, the size. Oh, yeah. Okay. All the aluminum foils that I put on in the form that I want it has been it's now dry. I also made a cavity here so I can test fit the Mount Whitney right on it, as you can see. Perfect. But now to try the trick that I did the last time. For that to work, let's make sure I have enough. I should have enough here. It's like putting icing on a cake. And that should be good enough. I'm going to do it this way. And if there's leftovers, that's fine. Just cut off the excess. All I have to do is put it right on top of it. Do this. Now I'm not going to cut this yet. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to flip it around, the excess, on one end and flip it on the other end. And do the other side there. And the front part here. The reason why I'm doing this is that way, now that I just did this with the, massaging the glues that's on it, it'll stick to the part much more efficiently. Plus I want to make some like smooth seas, but with large waves, as you could see. And that way, once it's done, I can then apply the next layer over it, and then I'll cut the excess later on. And I'll be putting on some plot plate around it to give it a little border. The inside of this, it doesn't matter if it opens up. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing it already opening up now, but that's fine, because this part is going to be, of course, glued in. I'll be gluing in the kit here as well. There we go. And now we're starting to see the formation of the ocean. And then I grab this guy, put it right there. Whoops, it's a little too smooth. Let me not play around with that for now. So let me wait until it dries, and then we'll move on to the next stage of this cool little ocean build. All right, everything looks good. It's a little bit too much in certain areas, but we can always work with this if we can. Remove the parts below. I cut it here, I'm going to be getting the plot plate soon, but I want to do something before we proceed. First, let me just test fit this again. There you go. Looks pretty good. Now, if anybody who has not seen Skeleton's video of him doing the ships, he used a medium, a gel medium type setup, which I have right here. I actually bought this online based on the recommendation that he saw on. It goes under a different name, but this one's called Heavy Gel Medium Amsterdam. It's an acrylic, a gloss medium, which let's see if I can actually. Hopefully, it hasn't dried. Oh yeah, it's still good, and I got plenty there. Well, not completely plenty, because when I received this in the packaging, the whole thing broke off, so I lost about a good quarter of it. But this should be enough for this. But that is going to be applied right over it to give it the gloss look to it. But first, I'm going to give it another layer over this to smooth it out, and I'm going to be using more glue. I'm already run out of the Gorilla Glue, so we'll have to use this for now. Which, of course, I don't know if. Let me see if this can come out. No, you know what? I think this thing is dried up here. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Now, I know many of you are probably saying that there are products out there that you can get. The one that I've seen people use the most, which I never got a chance to buy, and I'm going to use my finger for this, is something called Mod Podge, which is great for diorama builds and things like that. I've seen some brands from Tester and from a Revell product I saw before, but I don't remember the names. The Tester one I've seen at Michael's. Mod Podge was at Michael's. There's probably other brands that you could probably get at a craft store that's probably very, very cheap and will probably simulate the situation that I'm doing right now. But I find this more easy to work with. It's under anyone's personal preference. You could do whatever you want with something like this. I'm just showing you my way. And then if one day I decide to change it up, I'll try it. But right now I'm going to do this first. I mean, white glue is very, very safe, non-toxic, washable, no fumes. Hell, you can get your kids to do this. Oops. There we go. As you can see, there's some little holes and gaps, as you can see here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until it dries. I'll probably give it about a good, 5 hours or so to let it dry, if we have to. Then I'm going to do another light layer, because remember, this is white glue. This thing is gonna be clear, and you're gonna still see the aluminum foil. That's no big deal if it does that. The whole purpose is to get a smooth smooth textured surface for the ocean. There's the break in the waves, of course, and all that stuff. But if you want to, apply another layer, that's fine. Because I could see how it looks. That's what the effect is you're trying to get. And we're, So let me clean my finger, and then we'll move on to the next part.